How are we? It's the first public live stream I've had for a long time, and the Udi is back. Look, I have the Udi back. It must be getting colder. It's certainly not as cold as it was yesterday today, but even so, the Udi is back for a good reason. So there'll be some people in here that haven't seen me on a live stream for a long time, because this has become kind of like a members only area now, hasn't it? But tonight it's public because I want to basically summarize the things that have altered, and the new era of TVI shall be ushered in. I'll explain why it's happened and what's going to happen from now on, basically. But before we get to that, we'll just have a few hellos, shall we? Because, you know, some of you guys haven't seen me for a long time. Obviously, all the members will have, because they're in here every week. So the likes of Mike, Carol, Sean, Robin, Alice, Joseph. Hello, people. It's good to see you again, as always. But we've got other people in here tonight who are certainly familiar, but not been seen for a while. So Emil's in here, Richard's in here. Gunamus Travels, I believe your name is Tim. Not totally sure. I think your name's Tim. Anyway, you sent me a message a few weeks ago. Robbo, don't know who you are, but hello to you. Good to see you all. It's great to see you. Oh, Catwoman Jones is in here as well. Brilliant. Yes, that's good, because we've just been to Warwickshire this weekend. So in your neck of the woods. Joseph, hello. Good evening. Good evening. Hi everybody. Hi Jade. Great stuff. So good to see so many people in here. You haven't all abandoned me now that this is all members only. There's 20 of you in here right now, so that's really good. I'm happy with that. Excellent. Brilliant. Anne-Marie, hello. Good evening. Nikki is with me as well, stitching away on the right-hand side. There's a hand. A left hand. Her right hand is currently... the sparks coming off it, basically. Stitching, which one's that, Nikki? That's, yeah. If you follow Nikki's Stitching channel, you'll know that piece, I'm sure. Okay, I'll answer that question before we go any further. Catwoman Jones, where in Warwickshire were we? We were in Warwick and Stratford upon Avon, and we have filmed this weekend an unbelievable amount of content. I have done 10 villages... hang on. We have done 10 villages. I was just going to say we, actually, Nikki. We did 10 of them, 5 in each district, but we've also done a heap load of other stuff as well. There's going to be at least, I think it's 4 Tales from the Village Greens. There's going to be a Beyond the Boundaries episode. There's 3 Out for a Drives, and you've already had the Guess Where I Am. Now, if you haven't seen the Guess Where I Am, it's up there to have a look at, but the answer has now been revealed because I allowed the comments earlier. Everybody who's guessed the answer has got it right. We were in Holy Trinity Church in Stratford, and the grave you could see at the altar there is that of William Shakespeare. There are actually 5 graves there. One of them is Shakespeare himself. Next door to him, you've got his wife, Anne Hathaway, and then the other 3 are members of the Shakespeare family. I can't remember offhand who they are, but the Tales from the Village Green, which will come out soon, will explain who they are. And it was quite an experience, quite frankly. You have to pay £5 to actually go into the chancel and see Shakespeare's grave, but trust me, it's worth doing it, because even if you weren't interested in the grave, the chancel itself is well worth setting foot into, let me tell you. But you'll see that on video when the time comes. Okay, right. So down to business. This new era of TVI is upon us, and you will all now have experienced some of it. So, members, you will have noticed this morning that you probably got a raft of notifications. And that's because I put out in one go for members 7 videos. And that's going to happen every Monday morning, because you guys are going to get the week's videos in one go. So you've got all week to watch them, basically. Because on the next Monday, they will then be out for everybody else, as is normal. And they're going to be coming out in an automated fashion from now on. I don't have to do anything. So basically, when the video goes out, it's a scheduled thing. It's a premiere. Every single video is now a premiere, just like you're used to on Thursdays. So today's episode, which you saw, the Wollaston one in Forest of Dean, didn't have to do anything on my end. It was already set up, and at 6 o'clock, bam, it came out. Didn't even have to touch my phone. So that's how it's going to be from now on in that regard. You might have already noticed as well that the whole sort of system of having one district on specific days of the week, that's gone. That is now replaced with a Monday to Friday run of 5 in the same area. And then at the weekend, you've got a little weekend run of 2 in the same area. So, for example, this week, you've got the Forest of Dean from Monday to Friday. So all week, you'll be seeing my adventures on the English-Welsh border from a couple of weeks ago. And then at the weekend, this weekend, you have got the last 2 in Broxtowe, okay? And that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be in that format for basically as long as I deem necessary it should be. Now, the reason I've done it like that is all to do with finishing Nottinghamshire, because if I'd have kept the old system, I wouldn't have had enough space to finish Rushcliffe in the amount of weeks that are left in the year. Under this system, I have got that time and that space now in the schedule to do it. So that was the main reason why I altered that. But I actually quite like it. I actually quite like the idea of being in the same area for a full week. It gives you more of an idea of the place you're in, the area you're in, and what's basically around, and how they all link together as well.
Things like repeating features.
Yeah. I mean, how they link together is important, because sometimes, say if an episode comes out on a Monday and you have to wait until the next Monday to see the next in the series, you forget, don't you, what's happened a week ago. With this system, that's not going to be a problem, because basically you're going to watch the video on the Monday, and then on the Tuesday you'll see where I went straight afterwards.
More linked as well.
They will feel more linked too. Yeah. So that is effectively the main sort of changes. You will have noticed as well, I'm sure, that a few things have altered within the video themselves. Now, one of the things I have altered is the intro, because I wanted to put my new theme tune in, which I'm sure you're all going to be singing now. The old theme tune has gone. It is still going to be in a couple of episodes this weekend. The Broxtowe, the last 2 in the Broxtowe series, still has the old intro, still has the old theme tune. And the reason for that is because those 2 videos were like the test run for this. And so they look a little bit different to the one you would have seen today. But I'm sure you'll get over that fact. They're the only 2 that look like that. And when they're gone, everything else will then be like the one you had earlier. So, yeah. The new theme tune is upon us. The old one's gone. It's like a brand new start, effectively. And I know some of you love that theme tune. You're all going to be singing it. And I've altered a few other things in the video as well. And the reason for that is simply because it made writing easier. Because as you know, I don't write very well. And this sort of new change was basically to give the videos more fluidity, basically, to give the script writing a bit more fluidity, meaning that I'm not tied down to a rigid structure. I can just write as much or as little as I like, and it will still work. Okay. And the whole thing's been given like a bit of a facelift as well, hasn't it? You know, I've changed a few captions, you know, and altered a few sort of aesthetic looks, I suppose. And it just sort of brings that tired old look that was there before. It's been around. Some things have disappeared, but it's been there since the start. It's all got a fresh new feel. And I like it. I don't know about you, but I like it. And yeah, that's basically it. I've summarized everything within the space of about 5 minutes. So now that you all understand what's going on, enjoy. Basically, enjoy. So what did we all think then of the first in this new series, the first of this new era? What do we think of the first of the Forest of Dean? Let me know in the comments. Robin says, I think it looks cleaner. Absolutely, it does look cleaner. The whole thing just seems tidier. I mean, some of the things that have disappeared have been there since the start. And now that they've gone completely, the whole thing just feels fresher, doesn't it? It's got a new complexion to it. It just looks nicer, feels nicer. It's modern. We're not back in 2021 here, are we, anymore? It's more professional. Yes, absolutely. And I think the theme tune helps with that, to be honest. So, I'm ever grateful to AI for that theme tune, because I didn't write those lyrics. Those are AI generated, and boy, did it do me a good job. It really did. Just going to catch up with a couple of comments, because I've had a few come in there while I've been ranting. Let's see. What video editing software do you use for your videos, or is it a secret, says Goodham's Travels? I use good old VSDC. I say good old, sometimes it can be a pain in the backside. But the good thing about VSDC is it's free. I don't have to, purchase it or anything like that. It came with the laptop I've got. In fact, I can show you this, because the laptop's next to me. There's a video there, which is currently in the process of being processed, if you like. So there is the editing software. It's busy doing something at the moment. It's not too far away from ending that, actually, which is a good thing. So that's what I use, and it can be a pain, like I said, but I've dealt with it for 4 years. I'm pretty sure I'll deal with it for a few more. Joseph says, I'm notoriously bad with change, but after 2 to 4 weeks, I will come up with a positive and negative for you. Please be kind of my drawback I pointed out. Oh, don't worry, Joseph. I'll take any criticism. Any criticism, difficult for me to say, provided it's not, nastiness, basically, which I don't think it will be, to be honest. Have you done Bingham yet? Nope, I haven't done Bingham yet. That will be done in 2 weeks' time, when I go to Rushcliffe to do 11 of them in one go. And I've planned the Bingham route, though. Long route, that one. It's a smallish town, as you probably know, but it's got quite a few features, and there's a lot of walking involved, and a few landmarks in it which you wouldn't expect. But you'll see them when Bingham eventually hits your screens. Have I bought some blue tack yet? What, for the cards, you mean? Well, there's some in the car, which I didn't even realise was there until the other day, because Nikki found it. So yeah, I do have some blue tack. Blue tack in my car. For the cards. I much prefer pin boards. Blue tack's all well and good. It does hold cards on, but pin boards are better, aren't they? So I ran out of cards the other day, actually, in Warwickshire. I didn't realise that I didn't have many in my wallet. So I shall have to stock up again before I go out again. Alice says it's a really nice town in the... Can't read that. It's the nearest Dog's Trust shop to me. Fair enough, Alice. Fair enough. Just going to scroll back up the comments a little bit.
What was that?
Alice is saying about Bingham, a really nice town. It's got the nearest Dog's Trust shop to it. Don't mention Dog's Trust. Hannah will be all over that. So yeah, we walked a long distance between us this weekend in Warwickshire. We went to Bradford Semele. It was the first one that we went to. Remember, we'd had that meeting a long time ago where we did that little game to determine which one of the Warwick ones I was going to start with. That's the one that got picked, and we went there. We went there first off, and we did it, and it's a lovely place. It's got a church which is on the outside very old.
The video will show that to its best, about how surprising that church is.
Indeed.
Don't spoil the spoil.
Okay, I won't spoil it, but basically on the outside it looks old, but that's not entirely right, and there's a reason for it. So, but yeah, lovely place, Bradford Semele. Didn't take me long to make that video, actually, so that was good. The one afterwards, though, did. Bishop's Tackbrook, which saw us go into a crematorium. in a wood, and it was full. I don't know why it was full, but it was full of classic cars. Even Del Boy's three-wheeler was amongst the vehicles on display in the car park. We reckon it was someone who's obviously had a connection to classic cars or something like that.
An enthusiast.
Enthusiast, yeah. Obviously, we'd come at the time when it was their funeral. So yeah, there's that. Then we went to Barford, saw the River Avon, and walked around that place. That's the one that's currently on the editor, actually, over there. And then Wasperton, which is really small, but you know, they've all got to be done, big or small. There's an interesting project to tell you about with that one, the Woman of Wasperton. I won't give too much away about that. And then Sherborne, which we did the day after, because we were meant to do the first 5 in the first day, but by the time we'd done Wasperton, it was we were quite knackered, to be fair. So we said, right, okay, we'll do Sherborne in the morning. It doesn't matter about that. You know, the hotel's literally just a drive away from it, just like 5 minutes down the road. And so we opted to go there the next day and then go into Stratford, where we did Hampton Lucy, Fulbrook, Snitterfield, Barely, and Wolverton, before heading into Stratford and going to see William Shakespeare himself. So it was a good weekend. We really enjoyed it. You know, despite the fact that we'd done 45,000 steps by the end of it. So, am I allowed, Nikki, to show them what I bought you?
No.
No.
It's on my video.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I did buy Nikki something when we were in Stratford, but if you want to see that, then you'll have to go and watch the video that Nikki's going to put out tomorrow. So it's an excuse to watch a video of Nikki's, isn't it? Like you need an excuse. They're all good videos, Nikki's videos, because I make them. Right. In terms of research, what do you find more useful to collect information? Google Sites or social media? Definitely Google Sites, because social media is helpful to an extent, but it's not always right. You are better off with Google because, generally speaking, the sort of websites you find are more reliable sources. That's what I find anyway. Facebook's helpful, but yeah, it's not something I'd use all the time. An adhesive vinyl sticker would be more permanent, and you could stick to a road sign, especially if there's no notice board. That's a good point, actually, that, Robin.
The only problem is with that is that you could potentially, if you do stick them, you could get done for fly.
Yes, for fly posting. Yeah, that's the only issue with that. I mean, effectively, you could say the same about the cards I use at the moment.
Yeah, but a sticker is permanent.
It's more permanent,
like,
isn't it?
You know, fly posters use like paste and stuff.
Yeah. There is definitely an issue with that, I think. But it's a good idea. I do like the idea of that. So Hannah's just made her way downstairs. Oh, it's Lauren. Good to see the light. Hi, Lauren. You okay? Good stuff. Right. Richard Christie, are you new? I haven't seen your name before in any live streams. Watched many of your videos. Thank you for all the work you do. Not sure how you find the time, but much appreciated. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I will do my best. I watched the first video of Hartill the other day. Your videos have come on leaps and bounds since then. Indeed. If you've never seen my first video, it's a complete and utter nightmare. It looks nothing like what the videos look like today. Okay. You're looking for Hartill with Woodall in the Rotherham series if you've never, ever seen that. Yeah. Long time ago. Say again, Lauren? What are you talking about? Talking about my first ever video.
What, the one you did in Rotherham Town Centre?
No. The first village I did, Hartill with Woodall. Do you not remember that? No. Okay, fair enough.
I've seen the word Hartill on buses before, but apart from that.
It's near Dinnington.
Okay.
Not that Lauren knows where half these places are. Lauren barely knows her way around Rotherham. So, Nikki, as always, the voice of reason, says Robin. Correct.
I will have You know, I know my way around Rotherham Town Centre like the back of my hand.
Do you?
I do.
Really?
I've lived here long enough.
I am also the face of do not spam our inbox, otherwise you'll get something worse.
Oh, blimey. Yes, indeed.
Oh.
Indeed, there was another one today, wasn't there? Another one who thought it was a good idea to try and sell me. What was it? Trying
to increase your views and all that cobblers.
This happens all the time. The people try their best to say, well, you're not getting enough views on YouTube. This is how I can help you. All this kind of stuff.
So I basically told him to pay off.
Those aren't quite the words you used. You know that.
So no one said anything about a car's extended warranty, like scammers normally do.
No, nothing like that, Lauren. No, but your mother saw them off. Let's just say that. Don't get in the way of Mrs. TVI. Yes, indeed, Alice. It was another galloping crap waffle.
Just wait until the next one.
Indeed.
I've got plans for the next one.
Oh, have you? And what might those plans be, my dear?
I'm not. No, you don't.
All right.
I'm not, because you'll just get glare from.
Oh,
the
good
light.
point. The light will be in the way.
I'm not telling you what I've got planned. The next one
Don't lean on that.
to post, I will screenshot my reply yet again into the group, so
Yeah.
you can all have a good laugh.
Indeed. Here's Lauren, by the way.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. In the Oodie, which has made a return.
Not a nudie.
Sorry,
Onesie.
sorry.
That Hannah gave me.
Yes, it must be getting cold.
It's because my room's cold as the house.
You have a heater.
Can't use it at the moment.
Can't use it.
Well, good point. But
Right,
even
you've
so.
got less than 10 minutes.
Yes, you got less than 10 minutes for bed. So,
All in the morning, kiddo.
indeed.
I know.
It's all good fun. We have a good laugh, behind the scenes. I know you don't see, entirely everything that goes on because it's impossible, but we can give you a flavour of it, can't we? And I think Nikki's sort of way of getting rid of these idiots is so funny. It's kind of, you have to be there really to actually appreciate the whole thing. But screenshots of
I
her
won't ever
efforts.
say anything racist, sexist, or misogynistic.
Well, no, I mean, no one would
But I
want
will
to.
happily tell people to.
Yeah, shove
Arnold.
it.
4, 1, 2, 1. Flipping do.
Correct. Blimey. Ah, dear.
And I have fun whilst doing it.
Indeed, absolutely. What did you use on the first episode in Hartill to film with? I'll show you what I used because I still use it. I used my trusty old GoPro 8, which is still going, despite the fact that it's got more than a few bumps and bruises. The back is completely knackered, as you can see. The funny thing is about this camera that even though it's 4 years old, it still works perfectly. And the reason I still use it is because this is what I use to record all my voiceover. I don't use my actual camera, which is now the GoPro 10. Some of you guys won't know that story because you're not members. But if you want, I'll tell you it in a moment. But this thing has been with me since the start, and now it's used for recording voiceover
An emergency backup.
and an emergency backup, because the videos that you're currently seeing this week in the Forest of Dean were recorded using this, because the GoPro 9, which I had in between this and the 10, which was originally Nikki's, died whilst I was in Gloucestershire. So I had to think on my feet. Now this, for the longest time, the screen hasn't worked properly on the back. Basically, you turn it on. If I can turn it on, maybe show you. The screen on the back, as you can see, it doesn't display anything. It's supposed you can see a picture there, but it's quite dim. It's only recently started. The screen's only recently started working again, because for the longest time it was basically just black and I couldn't see what was going on. And I had to invent a way, if you like, of filming with this while I was in Gloucestershire. And I didn't realize that the flashing light on the back every pulse of that light is 1 second. And so once I knew that, I could basically film by counting the pulses instead of reading the numbers on the screen, which are normally up the top here. So I managed to do it, and I was proud of myself. But why the screen, is like it is, it's nothing to do with the damage on it, because even before that, it was working perfectly. There was a rainstorm when I was doing an East Lindsey run a little while ago, which I think did something to it. But it still records video perfectly. It still records audio perfectly. It's just that the screen is a bit dodgy. Like I said, just recently it started to work again a little bit, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, that's what I used in the very first episode, and that is still what I use for recording voiceover. So yeah, the GoPro 9 died. I've got a 10 these days, thanks to Nikki who bailed me out with that one. And yeah, that's the story of my GoPro dramas, I suppose. It does look well used, Richard. You're right. I mean, the damage on it hasn't, like I said, affected its performance. It still does exactly what it's supposed to, which is a testament to GoPro, to be fair. The main sort of crack in the back came from the Dunnington episode in York, where I accidentally knocked my tripod over and it landed on the concrete, the pavement. And that's what did the main damage to the screen, but it still worked okay, and it worked okay for a long time afterwards. And like I said, there's still nothing wrong with its quality. It's just, for some reason, the screen has now decided to be, like it is. But it's there as a backup, I suppose. So it's all good. Yes, the red ring of death. Indeed, that's right, Jade. Yeah, it's a common thing apparently. I did a bit of reading about it. Why it happens, no one seems to know. But that's what's happened to the GoPro 9. The red light of death, and it just will not do anything. So that's how it goes. Have you a Halloween special this year? Asks Jamie. Haven't got one planned, to be honest with you. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to. So
If you did do a Halloween special, you should dress up for it. If you're doing it very well.
Oh yeah, ask what exactly?
Something.
Hey?
Something. We can find something.
We'll see. I may do a Halloween special this year. I don't know. There will always be the Christmas special on Christmas Eve. Halloween, I haven't really thought about it. I'll be honest this time. You remember last year, I went to that tunnel and told you the story of the Mex Baraga. If I do a Halloween special, I'll probably do something similar. I'll probably find something haunted or something along them lines. There is a cemetery that's not a million miles away from here, from where I live, that is supposedly haunted by something. I'm not quite sure what that something is.
I mean, depending on who you ask. Some people will say all cemeteries are haunted.
No, not always.
Some people will.
Give it time. Come on.
Oh, speaking of cemeteries, by the way, on this trip to Warwickshire we did at the weekend, we saw, what was it, 5 famous graves, was it, in total? I think it was 5.
Well, 5 graves, but technically 6 famous people. Because there was Enoch Powell.
Yeah, Enoch Powell.
Nicky Sudden and his brother, who was also a member of the band and died young.
Indeed.
You have to do some research because I can't remember offhand which band. They're in the same grave.
Swell Maps was the band.
They're in the same grave.
It was Vernon.
Richard Griffiths.
Yeah, Uncle Vernon in Harry Potter.
And we completely stumbled upon him totally accidentally. And I actually literally was jumping up and down.
Indeed. It was quite amazing.
William Shakespeare.
Of course.
And then there was a cenotaph to Vivian Leigh.
Yeah. And I suppose you could count the other Shakespeare graves as well if you really wanted to.
So, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Oh, Hannah's just
Yeah, you
randomly.
carry on doing
Oh.
what you're doing.
Sorry, Hannah. Right. Alice says, what about the chained oak story? What is the chained oak story, Alice? Don't know what that's all about. You'll have to explain that one. Richard says, how's the car going? The car's going fine. Stocksbridge bypass has already been covered, by the way, so I won't be doing that for a Halloween special. Mike says, sure you have seen them, Andy, but there appears to be some videos and tips on how to fix the GoPro Red Ring of Death. Right. I did watch a couple of those, Mike, but they're no good because all they say to do is to take the battery out and put it back in again. That's effectively it. And that does not fix the issue on the GoPro 9 because the second you put the battery back in, the light comes back on again.
The second you open the casing, it's no longer waterproof.
Indeed. Indeed. So can't do anything about it, but I have the 10 now. So I suppose it doesn't matter about the 9 anymore. Have you seen the Stranger Things YouTube channel? He does celebrities' graves. No, because I'm not into Stranger Things. Lauren is, but this bit upstairs now. So, so yeah, yeah. Whatever that chained oak story is, Alice, send it me in a message. That could be something interesting. Never heard of that. Don't know what that's all about. So. That could be an idea for a Halloween special, potentially, I suppose. Like I said, I haven't really thought about it at the moment. So yeah. Oh, when we were in Warwickshire at the weekend, on the way back, we made sure to call to a very famous takeaway, didn't we? If anybody's on TikTok out there, you will probably have heard of Binley Mega Chippy. It got a bit famous in 2022 thanks to TikTok, and I'm going to be making a Beyond the Boundaries episode about why and how it got so famous. So if you've never heard of the place, you will soon. There was no queue outside because obviously it was a Sunday morning and it was closed. So it was a nice, quiet, sort of peaceful time to do it. Because apparently the queues outside that place get quite big. And yeah, there's a reason for it. And you'll see why soon enough. So Catwoman Jones says there's a grave in Napton of an American actor who was famous, but I can't remember his name. Okay. I mentioned Napton in one of the episodes, actually, that we did. Didn't go to it, but yeah, I mentioned it. I'll have to remember that for when I eventually cover that one. Oh, good evening there, Thomas in the Netherlands. I was in Birmingham last week and I was joking about Binley Mega Chippy whilst I was there. What's the odds? Well, there you go. There you go. It is a famous place. It really is. And the weird thing is, it's just like any other normal chippy. It's probably a bit bigger, you know, in terms of actual premises size, but effectively it does the same job. It serves chips, fish, pies, sausages, mushy peas, gravy, curry, you name it, all the usual chip shop stuff. It's just the same as any other chip shop, like ours down the road. You know, everything you can buy there, you can buy there too. Well, yeah, I know we've got two down the road, Hannah, but I'm talking about the one that's literally just like a 5-minute walk away. Even so, it's so similar. They're all so similar. It's amazing that this one chippy has achieved fame and notoriety simply because it was on a TikTok. You know, it's mental, absolutely mental. So, but yeah, I'll explain that one in the episode that will come out in the near future. So, right. This has been a blinding meeting, people. I've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this. It's been good to do a public one for the first time in ages. Now, as you know, the reason that they are members now is simply because we were getting quite a lot of trolls, people, you know, spamming stuff and basically doing things they shouldn't in the chats, which got annoying. And that's why the members only. But you know, it's been good to do this for the first time in a while. Hang on. Mute. This one?
They were swearing.
Sorry about that, people. I just had to mute that because the girls were having a bit of a tiff upstairs. As I was saying, it's been good to do this public stream, the first time in a while. And there's been no spammers in here tonight. There's been no trolls, which is good. I'm happy with that. So who knows? I might do another public stream
Christmas, I would imagine.
in the near future. Nikki says near Christmas. I think that's a really good idea. Are we all for that? Are we all for another public stream nearer Christmas? I think I am. I think I am. Oh, yes, I'm getting plenty of likes on that. Excellent. Good. All right, then. It's a date. It's a date. But until then, obviously, we will go back to members. So, excellent. Right, I'm going to disappear. Thanks for coming, people. Hope you enjoy the new look TVI, the new era of TVI. I know I am, and I'm hopefully you're going to enjoy it too. Can't wait to see what's coming up and visit a few more places and put them out there in front of you. Cheers for coming. See you later.